Okay. It is now 6 o'clock and I'm going to call the meeting to order. First on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next on the agenda is to approve the
So moved.
agenda.
To approve the agenda?
The agenda's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Maybe seconded. The agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Diane? Maybe.
None.
Artie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Dirk?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay. We are now going to dismiss to executive session. Sorry. Pursuant to ORS 192.660D to conduct deliberation with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. So back in.
I think you can.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back from,
We gotta let them in.
They've got their control.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Chili is good.
Is it good? It's good.
We didn't even set the cookie, so. Here it goes. Here she goes.
okay. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, we're back from executive session, during which we discussed contract negotiations. Do I have any motion? Arnie,
I will move that we approve the bargaining agreement with OSEA 2025 to 2028. And second that.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the contract agreement between OSEA and the Coos Bay School District for the 2025 to 2028 school years. Is there any discussion? Diane? Maybe?
Are we voting
Are we
right
voting
now?
or-
No, we're
Others
just
are
discussing.
No,
Okay.
Arnie?
I wanted to say thank you to Bree for all of her time spent away from her family as well during negotiations. So, thanks, Bree.
Derek? Kim? I have no further comments, so hearing none, we will move to vote. Diane?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Arnie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Nay.
Derek?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Jean, yeah.
Motion.
Motion carries. Okay, we have a contract. Bree, you and I are gonna have to get together to sign a clean copy with Michelle once it's been put together.
We have a meeting this week scheduled to do that, getting the clean copy.
Okay. Next on our agenda, the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I so move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I will second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. Okay. We're on to items for information. Warren, how do you say your last name?
Bye-bye.
Levine? Very nice to meet you. You are on.
Hi, everyone. I'll be the school board rep with Ewan, and I'll be starting with sports. First, we have the annual Prefontaine Run, joined by cross country. This will take place on Saturday, September 20th, showing the 50th anniversary of his death. Then we have Thomas Dallas from McFarland, or the movie McFarland, speaking of perseverance and determination on the 19th. Next up on academics, we have an introduction of AP seminar and structuring for the AP capstone diploma in the near future. Grading assessments are being structured into solidified grading across different classes. And the internship for Tower Forward has been introduced with the ACE program. On events, the MHS charity pageant presents itself on February 7th. The Fun Festival will take place on the 20th and 21st. And homecoming will have activities run 6th through 9th by ASB with a game on the 10th, followed by dance on the 11th. Finally, with the students, due to the new year, there has been reported increase on student concentration and decrease of cell phones at a drastic measure. There's been positive response to the changeable schedules by most students. Student participation and pass rate has not been shown yet solely due to the new year, with more information available by the quarter. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions of Warren?
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So Warren, you've noticed a increase in concentration and a decrease in distractions because of the new electronic device ban?
Yes, there have been less people talking during the classes, and we've had more people actually worried about their schoolwork due to it being the beginning of the year.
Excellent, thank you. for
That's
that.
good.
Are there any
Observation.
questions you guys want to know about in the future?
No, but what grade are you in?
10th.
10th grade?
And his father served on the board with some of us a while back. Hi, James.
I have a question. So when you're doing some research for your findings, are you just chatting with other students, or how do you figure it out?
If it involves sports, I go to people within the SCAT sport. If it involves general sports, I go to Mr. McCord for information and along with activities. If it involves student reports or changes, I go to Mr. Ashton, then I go to the students and the teachers.
Great, thank you.
That's very good because you're really trying to get good feedback for us. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, it doesn't look like Cody is here today, so we'll move on to CDEA business and Mr. Crook. Yes, and you don't have to stay if you don't want to, but you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
Oh, you want? I'm not very good at these, so I was told I should bring a piece of paper. Okay. Good evening, members of the board and superintendent. My name is Glenn Crook, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of Coos Bay Education Association. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and introduce myself and our representative team. As an association, our purpose is to support educators, uphold the contract we agreed upon, and ensure that the voices of staff are heard. Ultimately, our work is centered around the goal of creating the best possible learning environment for students. This year, I'm fortunate to be working alongside the strong leadership team. We have Tracy Cates as vice president for Madison, Diane Handy, treasurer for Madison, and secretary from Marshfield, Jen Winston as secretary from Marshfield Junior High. In addition to our officers, we have building representatives in every school who serve as the first point of contact for our members. These reps are the bridge between the classroom and leadership. They listen, share concerns, and provide support so the staff feel both represented and respected. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank them for their commitment. And so fortunately, we have this slideshow here. And so we have the building reps, we have our contract team or contract action team, and then our officers there. I won't read them all for you, sorry. Let me see. In addition to our officers, nope, I already read that part. Yep, there we go. Looking ahead, one of our leadership goals this year is to strengthen communication and training for our members. By giving our building reps more tools and ensuring information flows clearly, we believe that we can address challenges early and constructively. Strong communication within our membership leads to stronger collaboration with the district and ultimately a better climate for students. We're also grateful for the support of OEA's representative, Chico Robinson, who helps connect us to the resources and advocacy of the state level. I want to close by saying that while the board and associate may sometimes approach issues from different perspectives, we share the same goal, schools where staff and students can succeed. I look forward to working forward to the year of collaboration and continued progress together. Thank you for your time and your ongoing support. Thanks, Mike. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Glenn right now?
Well, I thought you did a great job. And by the end of the school year, you're going to just be up here talking, not even.
We shall see. It's
We
definitely not.
heard this wasn't your favorite part.
Yes, I am definitely behind the scenes type of person.
Well, you did great, and that PowerPoint was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Glenn. Okay. OSEA business, Ms. Bree Landrum.
Maybe I need to have Glenn write my summary because mine is not a whole speech, but I like jot down short bullet notes and then hope for the best when I get up here. So welcome back to the new school year. I know that we have some new board members, and I wouldn't mind if you guys tell me your guys' names so that way I know I'm saying them correctly too.
Derek Rubelski.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Mady Rosengarten.
I'm already rolling. I got rolling.
If I forget your name, I'm in trouble.
You just got reelected.
I'm not new.
No. I do know Diane, so welcome to the Peace Bay School District. I'm really glad that you guys are taking, your time to serve on the school board. And so I thank you for that dedication, because I do know it involves a lot of behind the scenes work and probably some late evenings. And so I know we made this announcement at the end of last school year, but with having some new people, I thought it'd be nice to reintroduce my board. So my name is Bree Landrum, and I work in our Native programs through the TAP grant, which stands for Tribal Attendance Promising Practices. And so you may see me in all of the schools. And then Amarel is our secretary in the maintenance department. And then she is our vice president on our board. And then Allison is our new secretary. And she is an educational assistant at Madison School. And then Brenda Gasberg is our treasurer, and I don't know what her official job title is, and she can yell at me about that later, but she helps run our online program and some of the online component. And yeah, I know there's a certain job title and I can't remember what it is. Online coordinator. And it's really embarrassing for those that don't know, that's my mom. So I should know. And then Shelly Fuller is our synergy guru, and you would find her here at the Blossom Gulch building. And then Brenda's now located at Milner Crest Education Center. Our union I've been in this, I think, for 2 or 3 years now, and we are looking at rebuilding with some newer building reps and kind of focusing on organizing. So I do not have those names to you guys, so hopefully I can share those in October with you. We've had a lot of really strong members that have retired or close to retirement, so kind of in that rebuilding phase and making sure that we are training our building reps. And we focused much of our summer on negotiations. So thank you for that passing this evening. So we can go ahead and move forward from that. I think everybody here got kind of tired of seeing me this summer. So special thanks, to Marina and Michelle and our board members, Arnie and Addie, for taking the time and meeting with us this summer, and my team to come up with our new contract for the next 3 years. And then I thought for some reason that we would end up talking before that went through, and I was going to open it up for questions, but it sounds like that is now a done deal. Do you guys have any questions for me this evening? Or
Kim,
What is Shelley's title here? Hospitality?
Oh, hospitality. So she's the one who, it's almost like a sunshine committee. And so like if somebody experiences something in their personal life, maybe sending flowers or a card, recognizing our retirees, that kind of.
I like that. Does Glenn have a hospitality sunshine?
No sunshine over here.
any other questions? Bree, I have a really off the wall question. We had a work session on Saturday, and one of the things we talked about was what the attendance coordinator does. And you served in that role, didn't you, for a
Attendance
while?
advocate.
Oh, an attendance advocate?
An attendance advocate. Could you just tell our new board members what an attendance advocate does?
We no longer have those.
Oh,
That was, those were positions that were riffed, and so the 4 attendance advocates were riffed last year, and that's not a position that we have.
They're not doing anything then.
yeah.
No,
They're somewhere else.
So
a lot
who
of
is doing it now?
So a lot of it was looking at systems and structures for last year. The attendance advocates are like a singular person, and it is really nice to have that singular person that has the time during the day to do some of the outreach that we would do, right? Like home visits, personalized plans, coordinating with families, helping reduce barriers and things. But with looking at the new systems, kind of taking that ownership instead of it falling on one person and actually creating systems underneath. So that way, we don't have kids that fall through the cracks when everybody takes ownership, and attendance is my understanding of why kind of those positions were ripped. And so there's already been a lot of communication that I haven't been a part of necessarily at this point in the school year, but that are happening in the buildings, and emails are going out, and then asking teachers to make
How
that
to support
connection.
those kids.
Yeah, because a lot of the research around attendance does show that it's most effective if the teacher is making the first contact and developing those relationships with families versus maybe an attendance advocate, especially if you're in multiple schools, you know, then they kind of develop that relationship with you instead of the school. And so by doing this, it's really going to create, I think, more systemic approaches that will be more successful in that. And I know that some of the finer things that we did are still being kind of figured out on how it's divvied up, but that was the goal. My grant still exists, which is attendance is in the name, right? I work with Native students. Yeah, Ken?
Thank you.
Gosh, that shaped a large chunk of our conversation at our work session, and I apologize that we did not have that information because we were explaining to our new board members how
good you were.
but
And-
the question is,
Addie.
I know.
That
the
word.
question is about, because transportation is a key job. They wake up late, miss the bus, mom and dad are working, or it's just a child at home, and you would go pick them up, or someone would go get them. How is that being handled now? And we're like in week 2, so I'm sure it's still being worked out. Or do you have a plan?
Okay, well, wait a minute. This is a conversation issue, I think, and it's unfair to put Bree on this.
No.
I can see.
I don't at all.
Okay.
That
You
is
guys ready?
a great thing that we still need to figure out. Like I've told people, in my grant purposes, that is still very much a part of my job with the population of students that I work with, which is our American Indian, Alaska Native students and their families. And so that is something that I brought up with admin, and they have been problem solving and addressing that. I'm not involved in it as the level as I was previously. But I mean, we have both said, if somebody needs a ride, like we can help out, give them a ride. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you so much for sharing all that information. That was really great. And I commend you on the understanding about how supporting the system and having everybody be a part of it. I think that is really smart thinking. And I'm curious, Mr. Roberts, if we could find out a little bit more about how that's, I mean, I know it is week 2, but
Yeah,
how is it going? I think that she's spot on, that teachers are close to families and build those relationships. And I'm wondering how are teachers being supported in making those kinds of outreaches when they're teaching? And I hate to ask if we're tracking it because that's just more work, but I'm curious to know how
I can
we
answer
could
that.
support that. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot.
and these positions were
Allocated.
reallocated, bringing in those responsibilities. Much of them are going to shift into the buildings. Each in our buildings, a lot of them have folks that they're assigned to become pseudo attendance advocates to continue that communication. What's that?
I said other duties as assigned.
Yeah, and working with students and families, especially those regular attenders. As you're going to hear later, we've set sprint goal goals in every building around attendance, regular attenders, and working with those students that are slipping through the cracks, as we alluded to.
Yeah, and I think too, I said teachers in the classroom, but we also have to remember, like, I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for my role within classified staff, that sometimes students do have better connections with a classified staff member. And so that's another great segment for our students in school. And I think, whether it's a classified or certified or an administrator, the students that are in the buildings with the staff that are in that one building all day have the ability to make way better relationships than somebody that is going, to multiple schools. It just allowed us to kind of connect with families more than necessarily the students. And so I think in this day and age, a lot of that sense of belonging and engagement is so important in wanting to come to school. And I think we're going to see some really great things, having that, sense of, having staff retake that control. And I can't remember, Kara uses a really great word for that, ownership. There we go.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a really great word that I can't think of, so.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Bree.
Thank you.
Great.
So
Have a good night.
Bree, one more.
Bree, one more.
Yeah.
So, with your grant app, is that, are the students who are in the program self-identified, or do they have to be part of?
All Native students, all Native students. So if you identify as being
You
American
identify,
Indian,
so
or-
it isn't, yeah.
and it's a state grant. And I think you were a part of it.
I would,
Oh,
but
okay.
I just want to make sure that people know it's not, you don't have to be part of the 9 Oregon tribes.
The federally
Any
recognized,
tribal.
yeah.
Any tribal
Connection.
allegiance
Okay.
and Alaska Native, so.
Yeah, and in our district, when you guys are looking at data that's generated by Synergy, it shows that we have a 4% student population. And one of the big things about TAP is that we actually have much more than that. But because of how data is collected and race and ethnicity and how that's broken down, we have a lot of kids covered. We actually are closer to 10% in our district of American Indian, Alaska Native students. And I don't know if other people know this or not, but there's 9 federally recognized tribes in Oregon, and we actually have 2 of them here in our local area. We have the Coquille Indian tribe, and we also have the Confederated Tribes of Coos, Lower Umpqua, and Siuslaw Indians. So if you don't know a little bit about that, now you do.
Perfect. Thank you, Bree.
Thank you, Bree.
Okay. Public input. Do we have people signed up today?
We have Terry Jones.
Pardon me?
Terry Jones.
We have one person, okay. I'm going to read my little spiel. Speakers may offer objective criticism of school operations and programs, but the board will not hear personal complaints concerning school personnel nor against any person connected with the school system. The time limit is 3 minutes. The board chair will direct the visitor to the appropriate means for board consideration and disposition of legitimate complaints involving individuals. And that's board policy BBBH.
Thank you, Maddie. So I guess I don't get to tell Disney World stories about you and stuff.
No,
Oh,
no.
wow. All right. I'm Terry Jones and I run the library at Madison Elementary School. It's been a tradition since I started to come before Banned Book Week, often to tell you how the summer program went. We gave out about between 40 and 50 books every Wednesday during the summer. When I first started speaking about Banned Book Week, it was something that maybe, to me, it was like a party day. And this is like my favorite week ever. But in the last, few years or so, it's kind of a scary thing now. I first got involved, some of you know, I'm the former vice president of this OSCA at the state level and a former president locally a long time ago. And I first got involved with the union because I wanted better advocacy for libraries. And I thought that was the pathway that I could do it. But of course, when they suck you in, there are other things that are even more important than your concern. And we did pass Work Shouldn't Hurt, employment insurance, and other things. And those were important. But this year, I got to speak on Senate Bill 1098, which was a bill that was to make it so that in the state of Oregon, you could not remove, it was an anti-book banning bill, that you couldn't ban books based on certain protected categories. And I got to go speak on that. And so it was kind of a full circle moment for me. It did pass and it was signed by the governor. It had an emergency clause, so it would start immediately. And it was signed in June. So I did finally get something helpful for libraries. Hopefully I did other things as well. So I do have some bookmarks for you. Band Book Week will be October 5th through the 11th, but that was before the next school board meeting. So I'm gonna get you a bookmark out. And does anybody have any questions?
I just want to say thank you for your advocacy. You've been here tirelessly, and I just love this week. I always go to the library and get banned books right after this.
And really just read any book. Just read books.
Read your book.
The more that you read. That has changed. I had to, at a conference, I had to speak on libraries and book challenges and stuff. And at this point, I'm just like, just everybody pick up a book and read. Don't be afraid of them. Read what you like. They are, to be honest, a lot of the books that are currently on the banned book list, Oregon had its most challenges ever at 151. Nationally, it's over 2,000. Most of them are not new books. I mean, Looking for Alaska. I mean, I'm a huge John Green fan, but that came out, I think, when my daughter was in middle school. She's over 30. So I think people are just picking books that they've heard. You know, most of them are going to be on the LGBTQ or have a racial element or things like that. But hopefully in Oregon, we are protecting ourselves. It doesn't mean we put books in front of kids where they are not at recommended age level. We do look at reviews, professional scholarship reviews, to know where to place books. So I'm just throwing out that. But do you have a favorite book?
No, not especially.
Not especially. Like them all, or?
Most of them.
Yeah, I like it too. I always have a hard time if somebody says, what's your favorite book? Because that can change by the minute. So anyway, I will pass these
Thank you
out.
very much. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got it. Notes just in case, because it's been a busy day.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Anyway, this will be my last
Thank you.
time to come up before you on Banned Book Week.
Wait, what?
And so
Are you retired
I am retired.
at the end of this school year?
No, sooner.
Before that. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, business officer. Or did I go too far? Nope.
Nope, that's me.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've presented for your review, the September 2nd enrollment for last week. You should have a link to that all on your agenda rather than me reading it all out loud like I've done in the past. So it's a pretty standard start of the school year. We are approximately 66 down from where we started last school year, which is pretty anticipated. Those are not all our students. So our student ADM number does include alternative youth activities as well as Resource Link and Lighthouse. And so this is a culmination of all of those things. We are down. We are expecting that for about the next 6 years, unless a port project happens and brings a lot of kids. Otherwise, it's supposed to flatten out a little bit in the next 6 years. When I'm looking at this September 2nd enrollment data, this is great and good, but usually the first week of school, we have some people enrolling. We also have our kindergartners who started today. And so I pulled the numbers again when I got in this meeting or when I got in here earlier. Instead of being chilly, I was pulling enrollment numbers. And we are up 87 from last week. And so a significant number of those are actually at our online program, which is expected. And then we have about 16 more enrolled over at the high school, give and take. A handful here or there added. But overall, we are now ahead of where we were last September by about 10. So I anticipate we will drop probably about another 50 this school year, but I'll continue to present this. I'll continue to present the variances month to month as well as where we were last year. But when doing a data analysis of birth rates and cohort
we are projected to decrease 10% over the next 5 to 8 years based on some national data, which will directly impact our school ADM. However, as I said, lots and lots last year, Oregon is down as a whole. So during COVID, Oregon as a whole lost about 30,000 students in our school systems that we could not track. So we could track the ones that were homeschooled and registered with their local ESD. We could track people who were doing a virtual charter, but about 30,000 kids less are included in our state school fund. And so you can play devil's advocate, which is great. Then the pieces of the pie are bigger per ADM, and they have proven to be. However, also at some point, it's really hard to justify an $11.3 billion budget with 30,000 less kids. And so I don't know that we'll continue to see the huge increases in our state school fund budget like we have in this biennium. That is our current governor's focus, is education and literacy. And I think that's part of the reason that we saw that huge increase without all of the students. But at some point, I do imagine that will balance out. We will not continue to see the same increases in state school fund without increasing ADM, statewide or even district. Yeah.
ADM.
Yes, sorry. Average daily membership. So we have lots of different ADMs, but that's theoretically a body and a seat. But each body and a seat is weighted differently. And so if I ever say ADMW, that's a average daily membership weighted. And so there are different weights for Oregon. So students in poverty, students experiencing ELO, students experiencing homelessness, teen parents, all of those have different weights. And
Meaning a different funding level based on.
an additional.
The characteristics that you pitch.
Yeah, so they all have different weights of that one ADM, and so then you get additional. As a district, we've been seeing about a decrease of 50 ADMW, and so it's not 50 necessarily seats in schools, but I think we'll continue to see a decrease. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions on the September 2nd enrollments?
I would like to point out that if you look at our kinder through fourth grade, not knowing today's numbers, it's as close as those grade levels have been historically since I've been here for 7 years. We usually see a much bigger gap between east side, west side numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And again, kindergarten through fourth grade, those enrollments across town are lining up, which means the boundary changes that happened when we reshuffled schools and are paying off.
Mm-hmm. They are, and you'll see there's a huge fluctuation between Millicoma and Sunset. But what I want to advocate for is that Sunset is up almost 40 from where they ended last school year. So while kids there might have always been a disparity in the numbers at each school, kids are enrolling at Sunset, and they're gaining those numbers where they ended last year at 342, and they were up over 380 at the beginning of school this year.
And that sixth grade group is a big bubble.
Yeah.
253 between the two buildings. That's a big class.
Yeah, so you'll see in the average size, the red boxes next to each grade at each school, that is the number of students divided by the number of teachers to give an average class size. They're not all averagely distributed, but you'll see we're well within the recommended class size that we have in the CPEA contract, except for the sixth grade, which is significantly over that 26 recommended class size for sixth grade. But we do have an additional EA to support those sixth grade at each school. So at Millicoma, there's an additional sixth grade EA. They were a fifth grade EA last year, and they follow that cohort while they're at that intermediate school. And then if you don't have any more questions on enrollments, we will go to our next new item. I'm going to present a new item to you on the floor. But as you guys might be very aware, we've had significant changes in our superintendent leadership while I've been here. And with each time, we have changed over our bake signers. And what that does is significantly increase our fraud risk because there are significantly more signatures that are on checks. And so speaking with Addie, speaking with some other local business managers, we decided that it would be best for me to continue to be the sole signer of checks because I have been here since 2023 and there's been some consistency in that until we have a permanent superintendent, Roberts. I didn't want to add another bank signer and increase our fraud risk even more. So with that said, I am now signing checks, but they're also coming through my department. And so in order to increase transparency, I will now be providing for you a list of all of the accounts payable checks that were issued from my office the month prior. So this is 2 months because we didn't have an August meeting. So these are all of the checks that we wrote in July and August that came through the business department. So utilities, travel reimbursement checks, all of the such. You'll see these reports monthly. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Shoot me an email, get me a check number. I can get you whatever backup detail you'd like. But it will increase transparency for me if you guys are reviewing them and also if the public has access to all of the checks that we're writing. So if you don't have any questions on the 9 pages of checks I gave you, I'll pass it over to Mr. Robert.
Will you need us to approve them or anything? Just see them
Just see them.
and then ask questions individually if we've got them.
Yes, individually, because I don't have all the backup documentation, my expectation with time being a factor is that if you send me an email, hey, I have a question on this check, I'm going to send all of the backup to all of the UAK group in case anyone else has any questions on that same check, but that way I'm not having to go pull it. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Addie.
Are there any other questions for Marina?
And you can always email me. I am always available. Call or email me.
And I have this understanding this correctly, so now all basically outgoing payments from the district will be funneled through your office and they'll be on this list.
Yes, they have always been funneled through my office. That's our internal control, is that they all get processed through our accounts payable person. They go through a requisition process with each admin. But once they are printed, they'll be signed with my signature and then they'll be directly put onto here. The only checks that will not are payroll, purely because we write like 500 paper checks a month. Yeah, thank you.
Some checks on this list that are to employees would be some kind of reimbursement.
Correct. Yeah, during the summer months, we do a lot of travel. So a lot of travel reimbursement for conferences, workshops, those sorts of things.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's move on. Gary, you're up.
All right, superintendent report. It will be much shorter than the superintendent report from Saturday. Want to start off. Is it going to work already, David? We just tested it. Now it's not working.
Oh, hold on. Trying to.
Here, so. Or you might just have to. All right, want to start off tonight with a reminder of our district motto: one compass, one crew, one mission. And our school district mission of each student is known by name, strength, need, and all students graduate with a plan to be enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Next, please. Thank you. I want to start with a welcome back of our staff and students. So being that we were in the first week, I wanted to get some pictures to show our board. Lots of classroom activities going on in buildings. These are from Eastside Madison and Sunset. I knew if Amelia's watching at home, I know she likes that Scarborough's reading rope in that bottom right corner that was made over in Sunset in the classroom. Looks great. And then the high school, Mr. Ashton noticed that the PEP assembly was the best attended PEP assembly that they have had. Their PEP assemblies used to back up to advisory, and sometimes students would wander. And so he was excited about that. And then I have our staff welcome back picture up in the middle. Thank you. A couple more pictures. We've got Millicoma there, some lunchtime activities in Millicoma in the middle. Junior high lunch. Junior high was really worried about the lunch lines, given that they now have one lunchtime, 7th and 8th graders at the same time. I went over late last week, and it's about 9 minutes to get to the lunch line, to get all the kids through, which is pretty good. You have 40 minutes, so 9 of it to get through. Little nervous about rainy day. I was gonna go over today, but it did rain. I might go tomorrow if it's raining to see, because the field activities that they have during lunch for the junior high kids, is that gonna translate into the gym and be too much? So gonna go ahead that way. Got a football game last Friday night. A great win for our Pirates. And on the bottom left, we had the Southside dedication of the field. And that Southside project is going well. It put some finishing touches on it, but really a great deal that's going on over there. And it's a fun view to watch a football game. It's a great view over there. Some summer facility updates. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, Kevin, when we get to your section, but
I didn't bring any visual aids.
perfect.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So really the highlights, a lot of highlights over at Sunset. Fresh coat of paint there on the left. Did the painting of the countertops. It's meant to look like it's like a solid surface countertop, like a granite. And they did it at Millicoma last year. And Trey over at Bayshore Paints, fantastic job. I mean, you really have to look deep to make sure that it's just the laminate countertop that they just redid. And it looks awesome. And new lights. And that's a real highlight as we're going to go to the next slide. Well, flooring in the library was also put in along with some LED lights, and then the next slide, please, David, thank you. And then those new lights, you can see there in the middle, that was a shot of down the hallway, dark, lighting just not great. And then you can see on the right and the left, those new LED lights in the hallway have really brightened up the building and done a great job. Lights in the gym before and then after. It looks like, if you go back real quick, David, look at the difference in the gym floor.
Yeah.
Gym floor looks kind of dark and older, even though it's not too much of an old floor. But then you go to those new lights and it really brightens it up. It's really awesome. Got some new cafeteria tables along with lighting downstairs at Sunset. And Milner Crest Education Center got some new carpet. You can see on the left there were some very artistic tiles that were underneath some of the carpets in the rooms. And this is really a credit to Loma and his crew and awesome work they did all summer. Just fantastic. You can see there on the right, that used to be Chad Putnam's office, and looks great. Again, new flooring, new paint, new year. Little compass there in the top right corner and underneath one of the floors. But they really did a fantastic job there at Milner. We're just getting the final touches on here in the last few days. Bathroom projects are complete up there, and stalls are looking great. Otten Field getting a new scoreboard, and that is going up and looking fantastic. You saw the baseball scoreboard, I'm sure, last year as it went up, and those are really great for our baseball and softball kids. Working on the sprinkler system over at the baseball field to try to get that going and keep that infield nice and watered. New goalposts at Marshfield, and as a former football coach, I will tell you Marshfield was one of the worst places to come and play for kicking, because they were very short goalposts and you had a hard time figuring out whether field goals and extra points were good or not. So it's nice that they've put in these newer, taller goalposts. They're also lighter, so the maintenance crew, when they take them down for track season, they're much easier to transport. And then the grease interceptors at the high school. These went into most of our buildings last year, or the previous summer, and then into the high school. City's going to come over when we do the first draining of them here, I believe in December. Wasn't that discussed, Kevin? December, yeah. They're going to come over, but we have our grease interceptors now at the high school. And then finally, we got some new windows here at Blossom Gulch, along with our flooring and our paint. And again, Loma and his crew did a fantastic job. Lots of compliments from people that have come in the building, both former teachers, former students that went to school here. Lots of positives. Superintendent goals, we talked on Saturday. I revised the goals following the feedback that I received from our board. So raising the academic expectation and outcomes of the district with alignment to the state accountability metrics, 3rd grade reading, 8th grade math, and 9th grade on track, 4 and 5 year grad rates, K2 attendance, and then that's still to be determined local metric that ODE hasn't identified yet or given us the options of identification yet. Goal 2, developing a long-term plan for the future of alternative education in the Coos Bay School District and prioritize Destinations Academy, pre-kindergarten, our teen parent program, Resource Link Charter School, CBD online school, and potential child care program. Goal 3, same as last year verbatim, report progress on goals monthly. Goal 4, investigate and establish the need for additional programs in the district, including CTE, co-curriculars, and after-school opportunities. And then the last one, administer at least 2 community and student surveys focusing on climate and student voice. Results will be analyzed and shared with constituents, and findings will be used to inform district decision-making and guide improvements.
And that's school climate, not
Yes,
climate.
no, school climate. No, yeah, we know the weather. Sprint goals. So each of our buildings, we've established sprint goals. We started this last year. These are goals, short duration, month, 2 months, with the idea of having a focus in a couple of areas and really trying to prioritize it with staff and students. We are going to start the year in September, October with 3 sprint goals. District-wide will be our regular attenders. Then we gave the option for grade level bands to have their goals. So K6 is going to focus on Success Maker and getting their 60 minutes a week and the 100 minutes, the 7 hours that it takes to establish their interventions within Success Maker. It gets them into the system, puts them at their grade level, and then it starts working them through the system. So that's the K2 focus. The 7th through 12th grade is going to focus on their 10% F rate, having an F rate of less than 10%. And then the third goal is a site-based goal. So we let each building pick their sprint goal that they feel is most important to their building to get them going in the school year. Madison has chosen Character Strong 4 at the door, which is a welcoming greeting of students. Eastside is going to focus on positive office referrals. Sunset is focusing on their Character Strong in the 45 minutes per week that the students get, and the Character Strong is our social emotional learning curriculum. Millicoma is going to focus on Boost minutes. Boost is a differentiated reading program for students that comes within our Amplify. And there's 60 minutes a week is their focus. Marshfield Junior High is focusing on the Success Maker minutes that I discussed above, because Success Maker goes through 8th grade. And then Marshfield Destinations are focused on completing their student success plans to get the year started. So those are the sprint goals for each building as we start the school year for September, October. Those are tracked in a Google form. They're tracked on Wednesdays and Fridays, and then cumulative for the month. I want to share with you our data cycle as we start the school year. In September, October, our teams are working on their SMART goals, our coherence reports, and our pacing guides at the building level. Those are all due early October. Every 3 weeks, the admin are going to produce data reports. The K6s will work on their progress monitor reports, and the 712s will be providing to me, the district cabinet, the DF reports for where students are at individually. Monthly, I will be meeting with the superintendents and going over their data. And then quarterly, we're going to be having admin data dialogues as a K-12 admin. Professional development for administrators. I talked about this on Saturday, just want to update. Met with our admin team today and went back over this plan. And you can go to the next slide, David. And really wanted to break down, these will be those focus areas for those three areas of focus. These are going to be the months that we focus on those. So teaching and learning is going to be a priority for September, January, and April. Professional learning communities, our PLC practices, will be October, February, and May. And then the evaluation with a focus on feedback and reflection is going to be November, December. The reason for those 2 months together, November has a lot of non-school days, as does December, so we put those together. So November, December will be evaluation, and then March. And then finally, some upcoming important dates and events. We've got our beginning of the year assessments going on at the K6 and K8 level that are being done right now. I just want to point out September 16th is National IT Professionals Day. So Kevin Wilhite and his team down the hall, they do a fantastic job. And on the 16th, we will celebrate that more than we do on the day. October 2nd is School Custodian Appreciation Day. October 15th is what we're calling our day of testing in the district at the secondary level. So our 8th through 10th graders are going to take the pre-ACT and ACT if they so choose, and then our 11th and 12th graders will take either the ACT or the ASVAB. The ASVAB is a test, it's a career technical exam, really heavily important for our students that are planning on going into military post-high school. October 27th is our first board data meeting, so hopefully that's on everybody's radar. And then just some no school, we have no school grading day on November 7th, Veterans Day observance on November 11th, and then our fall break on November 26th to the 20th. Those are some timelines. Couple of events that are coming up. On September 25th, we have our Nancy Gerd Legacy Foundation event that's going to be at the Coos History Museum. Nancy was a former teacher counselor, and she's a fantastic, she was an elementary teacher when I went to Blossom Gulch many, many years ago. The Gerd Legacy Foundation, we're working on to the endowment of that piece, which is $25,000. We're a little over halfway there amongst the schools, community schools foundation, and we're hoping this event will help us kind of get over that cliff and get us to the point where we're endowed. Also that same night, our culinary arts team from Marshfield will be competing against North Bend's culinary arts team at the Oregon Coast Economic Summit, which is at Blue Ridge Strategies, which is on Front Street. So from 6 to 9, there's the opportunity if you want to go back and forth. I will be that night going back and forth between the two events. But they're going to be doing some tapas using local seafood. So, and having kind of an informal, formal competition with the North Bend Culinary Arts Program. So since it's right across the street, be a good time to maybe wander back and forth. And that event is free, but you do need to sign up at the Oregon Coast Economic Summit site. And if you need be, I can get you the link to that. And then finally, just want to put this on the radar that Saturday, October 18th, is the Marshfield Hall of Fame banquet at the Mill Casino in the Salmon Room. Great class. I guess that's when you know you're getting older, is when you start seeing classmates in the Hall of Fame. Arnie, I don't know what that says for you. You were the principal for all of these folks, so they were my classmates. But a great group that's going in. I guarantee you there'll be some entertaining speeches from the folks that are listed up there on the board.
I would also say that Nancy Gert's daughter is one of our teachers at the high school.
Yes.
Teaches our AP courses in science, biology, and so on. She's environmental science.
And her grandchildren, 2 of her grandchildren, are in our schools, one at the junior high and one at Milcom. And I just wanted to bring this up as kind of a closing, because we talked about this last year, and it deserves to be brought up again this year and often, that all students deserve great teachers and schools by design and not choice. And that's what we're striving for, is to design our schools to maximize adult outcomes and student outcomes. So that is my report for the night. Any questions? I said it would be quicker than Saturdays.
We appreciate it.
Are there any questions? Do you have any questions, Warren? I haven't asked you.
So you said there was a conference travel reimbursement. Does that all accredit at the end? And if so, how do you all file that?
I'm sorry, are you referring to a check that we wrote for conference travels?
Yes.
Okay, so when those get completed, they come to my office and then we do a purchase requisition and then they go through the purchasing process until a check's written.
So were you asking if it was paid beforehand, before the conference, or at the end?
No, I was asking what system they use in order to cash it. For example, do people write it down? Do they log it? Do they bring?
Yeah, they generally have to show receipts in order to get reimbursed.
We have a travel form and then require very specific documentation and then approval with your administrator.
And then my second is, what does the administrator do with requisition processing?
They have to go in and approve the coding, and then once approved the coding, whether that be a grant or general fund student body, once it's approved, it comes through our system to accounts payable, and then it's processed through me. So there's essentially 4 steps of administrator for approval.
Okay. So how do you calculate EDM? Do you do it with the student view?
Oh, I do not. That is the state. And I wouldn't touch ADM with a 10-foot pole.
They tell us.
They tell us.
Warren, we use a program called Synergy. So when you go to class and the teacher takes attendance, that all these reports in Synergy go to ODE. they calculate it in their ODE ways, the
And
Oregon
that's the
Department of
Oregon
Education.
Department of Education.
Yeah, Oregon Department of Education. And then we have projections, but they give us our official ADM of what we have, our student membership.
Yeah, and if you're interested, Lauren, you're welcome to meet with me after, and we can set an appointment, and I'd be happy to walk you through our budget and how we do some of those background. If that would be helpful. Yeah.
Good question.
Yes.
Any other questions?
I think he's looking to make sure he doesn't have any numbers.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. I think we're on to Kevin
Did you
to
still-
give us a facilities committee update.
He was still looking to see. if he
Oh,
had-
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so basically, what Gary says, with some pictures, it's true. Blossoms got paint, the carpet's coming down, or going in, and at sunset, they've got a lot more lighting. And when I went to school there in 6th grade, it was dark, so it's been dark for quite a while. And so the lighting is way on, so. But then it also highlights a couple things that we're gonna work on in the future, so it's not completely done yet, obviously. Or we haven't forgot about the roof and other big projects. And then also we have baseball sprinklers. We've been digging at it, looking at it, finding out where the problems are, ordering stuff. So baseball, they should be happy by next season. Softball, they're gonna look good. They had a decent scoreboard. Now they have an awesome new scoreboard. So that'll work out really good for them. Joe Slack gave a presentation on security vegetables with like 3 different options. So it's still on the books, kind of just an option type thing. But the main thing basically it's coming to down is that the Marshfield main entrance will have one. And I don't know which one they're going to go off of yet, but it'll be great. So they'll change the principal's office and some of the layout of that. And then we heard from Shelley over at Lighthouse School. Every other month, we like to do a walk around to different facilities and different schools and properties. And we haven't been to Lighthouse for a while. So it was great she came in. She kind of told us a few things. And then me and Loma are going to go over there this week, kind of get a layout of what she's kind of talking about. And then we're going to schedule a meeting for the following month for our walk around. So we'll post it for everybody in the community, members, everyone. And we'll just kind of go informal and check it out, see what they got going on, and then report back to you guys. And yeah, that plus what Gary said, that was it, and some pictures. You guys have any questions?
Any questions?
What is?
Yeah.
What is a walk around report?
Yeah, so a walk around. Instead of having meetings once a month, crunching numbers and looking at stuff, we felt like it would be really beneficial for the community and other people to physically go out and look at these places.
So it's really,
Yeah.
every other month, you'll go to a different school and walk around and
Yep.
see all the problems that they're having or the new things that they've done.
So last one that we had last year, we went to Nova Colorado. So we were able to tour the schools because we're not there every day or at the schools all the time. So we got to go up the stairs too. So back in the day when I was in junior high there, we're going to see the showers and things like that in the basement. So it was really neat and it's fun to go check out the schools.
And we'll make sure we get an invite for you as well.
Yeah.
And if it lines up in your schedule and you can make it, it'd be awesome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Kevin. Okay. Policies.
My favorite part.
Yeah, David. get on.
So for our new board members, last year, we started adding this first item, prospective policies for review. This is an area where if a board member has a particular policy they would like the policy committee to review, they could say that now and we would add it to our next meeting and go through that policy, and they're welcome to attend that meeting as well and kind of tell us what their interest in that policy is. So first and foremost, does anyone have any prospective policies they would like us to review?
And this will be on the agenda each month, so.
Hearing none.
Okay.
Stole that from you, Abby. I will move over to first readings for adoption. So the first readings for adoption, this first section is OSBA initiated. So how our policy process works is OSBA is the state school board association. They provide template policies for a number of school districts, a majority of school districts. They have a legal team that goes through and looks at the legislature and the laws that are changing and updates those policies. And then they send us a summary, basically, of all of the policies that are changed due to changing laws or new statutes or executive orders or things like that. So I take those and put them onto our current policies, and the policy committee reviews those changes. Sometimes we'll have to select language we get to select. Sometimes it's just changes of a date changes or something like that. So that's what this first section is. So this first one, a policy on education records, records of students with disabilities management. This came from changes in rules regarding directory information. And I expect that, and OSBA expects that we'll see more reviews on this as the law kind of settles out. Next one on the list is IKF graduation requirements. This update adds extended diploma information back to the notification requirements. There was a time there it was removed. It has been added back in. This is a policy that you will see often in your tenure here at the board. I think we've seen it every other policy committee meeting at least. So it does get changed a lot. It is a substantial and important policy though, so we're happy to look at that. These next two, you will see duplicate policies, JFCEB. The first one is our current policy, which we will be deleting. And the second one is the new version that takes into account the new executive order from Governor Kotek. That's why in some instances, there are such radical changes to the policy, it makes more sense to adopt whole cloth than to try and graft on the important pieces onto our current policy. So that's what was done here, and that's what was recommended by OSBA. Moving on to JHCA, JHCB.
What question?
Oh, yes.
So with the first reading, what is the next step? So I read the draft policy, and it's a draft. It has, pick 5 different options in this one section, pick 5 different options in this one section. Any of these will meet the governor's requirements, but it doesn't say which, it doesn't give any indication of what Coos is actually,
Our policy.
what our policy is actually going to be. It's just the model document. And so.
In which one?
The
JFCEB.
JFCEB?
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah, is there a policy? This just talks about how there is going to be a policy, and we should get rid of former policies, but it doesn't say what the policy is.
Yeah,
we did make changes to this.
So for example, I guess I just don't know, is this the right time to bring up questions about this? Okay. So, this policy says, personal electronic devices must be placed in a district provided pouch or storage.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I think what happened, let me see.
Yeah, we went over this.
We have made changes to this. I must have uploaded the original document and not the document that we made changes to.
Okay.
We looked at those drafts.
Yeah, I didn't realize until
but I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to look at them.
Yeah.
I would like to know what we actually
Which
decided.
choices we made.
So they're a separate policy committee.
But
so-
that's what should have been on here, and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they'll go through those changes, then they recommend them to the board.
And that's what should have been on here. So I'm looking for it right now so I can tell you definitively.
And you can put it in again next time. Can't get
Yeah.
it, so.
I have it on by hand here.
And it's just the first reading.
But I
So
think
it's
we
just
should first
second
read it
reading
for
and
everybody to have
adoption.
their own copy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But generally speaking,
Yeah, we need
what's
the
happening right
cleaned
now
up
is what
one
we're
that you
doing.
did.
We look at it again, and then it goes into second reading.
And when the second, that is a
Next
separate
month.
meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
next month.
Okay. But then-
Basically, the second reading is just on the consent agenda. We don't ever go back and discuss it again,
Unless somebody. because-
unless it's brought up individually.
Unless it's brought up to the, and then the, okay, but we have to have this policy adopted by October 31st, right?
No, by January, actually.
I think the policy is October 31st. Implementation is January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can we have this next month with the corrections that you guys came up with?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm
Since
struggling
it
to
is
find it.
first reading, are you able to just email the correct one?
Yes, I can email out the correct one tomorrow, but still, we have 2 meetings between now and October 31st. So what I will do is I will still add it for first reading because I think the community deserves to see those things too at a
Absolutely.
board meeting. So that's my mea culpa on that for not getting the changes on this policy. I do have them. I will send them out to you this week, and then I will add them to our October 13th meeting for first reading. And then I'll move them for our data meeting. We don't typically, but I'll add them just so we can get them approved by October 31st. But that is a good catch, and I appreciate you bringing that up. That's not normally how they would look.
Yeah, normally it'll come to you with colors showing you what has been changed in the final format.
Again, OSBA was super helpful because I read this document,
Yes.
I read this document at OSBA, and so I was
Yeah.
reading this and I was like, this can't possibly be ours because it's.
Because this is what I saw there, yeah.
This is what I saw there. Okay.
No, yeah, so if you looked at, like, in the first one, IGBAB, JOAR, you'll see, the strike through, your track changes.
Yeah.
That's what it typically would look like.
Yeah, and I think that the next one we were going to, the JHCB, it has those strike throughs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, excellent. So yeah, I will square that away this week.
But just so you know, there is a policy committee, you're welcome to be on it.
Yeah.
Or go to
Right
the
now, the
meetings.
2 of us are on it,
Yeah.
and we go over it before this meeting, so you would have seen our changes had shown up in there.
And if you're not able to be, you can just go to the meeting, anyone's
Right.
meeting.
But
If there's something that in particular a policy you're looking at.
as long as there are not points.
I would also like to encourage board members, because I do send the policy committee agenda out to everyone. If you have suggestions or things you're really concerned about, please let me know in advance. I'm happy to share that. If you're not able to attend a policy committee meeting, you can always email me, and I'm happy to share that at the meetings as well. Moving on to JHCA/JHCB. They added some language to this around concussions and other brain injuries. This was due to the Oregon legislature adopting House Bill 3007, outlining steps that must be taken regarding concussions and brain injuries. And then we have.
Can I point out one thing that I thought was odd about this policy?
Sure.
The footnote number 7, where it talks about healthcare professionals, doesn't actually include physicians. It includes chiropractic physicians, naturopathic physicians, psychologists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, physician's assistant, and nurse practitioner.
Yes. And I did look into, did I send you that email?
I might not, I probably just haven't had time to look at it.
Okay.
Is it listed somewhere else and I'm just missing it?
Yeah, so what it is if you look at the paragraph above, right below concussions and other brain injuries, the first step is to be diagnosed by an athletic trainer licensed by the Board of Athletic Trainers or a physician licensed pursuant to ORS, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, except as allowed above, you need to go through one of these steps. So the reason it's indicating those is it already said a physician, that's the first method.
Okay.
And those are just other optional methods had you not seen a physician. So yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't understand that. I didn't pick up on that sequential nature of it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody but a doctor.
That's what it was. I thought it was very weird.
Yeah.
No, I saw it, and for a second there, I was just as confused. I was like, what is happening? And then I read through it, and that's what.
Okay, thanks for,
Yeah.
everybody but an allopathic physician. That was strange.
All right. Then we have policy DBA, our budget committee. It was just a change to some references. So no substantial change there. Then we have first readings for adoption, district initiated. These are ones that the administration in the district chose to change, not OSBA initiated, and we have the, and I think that's important to point out too. Anything that we change still goes to OSBA to be vetted before it is uploaded. So the legal team at OSBA will say, you can't do that, that's against the law. So we're not at risk of doing something that's not compliant with the legislature because it still is vetted through OSBA. That one was just to change and increase the frequency of gradebook updates and make a slight change to progress reports as far as case 6. So 712 will be moving from, it was every 3 weeks that grade books would be adopted. We're moving to every other week. And then the conferences, it used to be case 6 grade students will receive 3 progress reports in a final grade. We moved that to they will receive 2 report cards at the end of each semester, along with 2 additional conferences on progress reports during the school year. So they'll actually get 1 more point of contact.
And those line up really well with our already preset conference days. And, early November, get a progress report, progress monitoring to families, and then again in April. So it kind of splits those quarters up. So families are getting 4 contacts on student progress throughout the year in case exam.
And then we have first readings for deletion. These were a result of our policy analysis. We started last February. There was a number of policies that were outdated and no longer supported by OSBA that they recommend that we delete. Part of that is, even though sometimes the information in these policies is good information, it's not required to be in policy. And the concern, if we continue to use a policy that is not supported by OSBA, is they will no longer vet that policy and tell us when the legislature has changed and made part of that policy illegal. So it puts us at a liability because there's no one that's going back and looking at these policies that they haven't updated since 1998. And the world has changed around that policy, and we're stuck with this policy because we didn't know to change it. So that's part of the reason that we want to get through and delete these. Once we finish this policy analysis, which we're a good majority through, we won't see deleted policies very often. And if that does happen, it's usually like a bug where we are deleting one to replace it with another. The only reason we have a list of 10 is because we had a fair few that needed deleted. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Jen.
Lauren, did you have any questions?
How many committees are there in the district?
How many committees? Oh, that's, there's a,
Maybe mean that are attached to the board.
board committees? I can tell you right now. Hold on.
That's a lot less.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't answer that with any certainty.
One more.
I think we have 7, don't we? 7 boards, or 7 committees.
Board,
Policy committee is not a board committee.
yes, it is.
Oh, it went back to board committee? I thought it was superintendent.
No, wish it was superintendent, listen.
Oh.
While he's looking that up, what's your next question?
How is funding divided to meet all needs and lessons?
Pardon me?
Between the different schools, how is the funding divided? Is that through negotiation or?
That is a much, much bigger conversation.
Yeah.
It's determined by the budget committee that meets in the spring. And again, how about we do that meeting and we can kind of go through the full budget. You can see kind of the breakdown of the budget committee because it's a pretty extensive process.
Then how are different graduation policies or requirements made fair amongst all schools? For example, if one school has less requirements than another school nearby, how is that, are they associated or?
It's a good question.
The state graduation requirements are set by Oregon Department of Education.
At the state level.
Yeah.
So they're all the same. That's the state of Oregon.
How do you
School
find-
districts can add ones if they would like.
But they
And
can't
that can
take
be
it away.
different
But they can't take it away.
That can be different from school to school.
Okay.
And the other thing you need to know is, but if you do that, if you transfer in as a senior, if you come in a military family, if you come in for a bunch of different reasons, you have to honor the minimum requirements to give them the diploma so that you don't expect something from them and they didn't know it before they got it.
Okay. How do you finalize a draft policy?
How do you finalize a draft policy?
So finally, so as I went through those policies here, they go through a first reading of the board. That provides opportunity for the community to hear the first reading, to see the documents which are online. And that way, if they want to come to the next meeting and speak about that policy, they have the opportunity to do so. And then they go to the second meeting where they are then adopted by the board. So the board first goes through policy committee where we make the draft. We present it to the rest of the board for first reading. And then usually about a month later at our next meeting, we'll do a second reading and the policy is adopted.
And Warren, most of the board policies come from the Oregon School Board Association folks. They trickle down from OD, a lot of them on state requirements, state laws, but they draw up these policies and send them to us for draft and then what David just said and then adoption.
And if you look on the website, there's an area for us, for board members to go to that has in it our agendas, where all the policies live and all of that, so we can stay organized and see them and read them too. So it's all available online.
Okay. And to answer your question from earlier, there's really 4 dedicated committees, but there are a number of other committees where board members are participants on that committee. And that's also on that same page on our website. If you go to leadership and school board, you can go to committee assignments and it tells you which of each board member is on which committee and where they're just members on committees as well.
Okay. Does the legislator and the school board meet to negotiate, or is the legislator mandated and brought over here?
Legislation's done at the state level. They do take input at times.
No, every time. They have a meeting.
They take input, not
Public
necessarily
meetings.
follow the
Just like they do here, you have a public meeting. And then people come in, they can write comments in, we get thousands of pages. It's a kind of amazing process. And then they end up voting in the committee. That committee vote goes to the floor of the House. It gets passed on the floor of the House. Then it goes back to another committee in the Senate. And they go through the whole process again. And then they pass it out of the committee and it goes to the Senate floor. The Senate has to have a debate and then they pass it. And after it's been passed in the House and the Senate, if they are exactly the same, it goes to the governor. If they are not exactly the same, it goes back to the other House to go through the process one more time before it comes out and goes to the governor to be signed, and then it becomes a law.
There's a really cool cartoon called I'm Just a Bill.
And what's really cool too is all of it is transparent and made public and online. So you can go to whatever it's called, .gov.
Right.
Oregon, GA, whatever, .gov, and you can watch the sessions, you can see everything that's happening. And you can watch something move through all of those bodies at the state level, at the Capitol in Salem, and see how it all happens.
So the naming member is OLIS, O-L-I-S. It's the Oregon Legislative Information Service, and it's online. And you can watch a committee, I don't know, a committee, you can watch the Senate debate a transportation bill. They were supposed to have done it last week, but one of the members had an operation, so he couldn't be there, and they didn't have enough votes to pass it. So
they both.
we have to give him 2 weeks to get better, and then they'll have another hearing, and it'll be on OLIS.
And you can watch committee.
And committee meetings are all on OLIS.
Yeah.
Okay.
There just isn't another committee meeting. in the short session. Special.
Does OSBA post, I would imagine also when they're tracking bills, they probably have something like, because it could be difficult to navigate a Senate bill for anybody, on that website.
It's better there than it is on the other ones from OSBA and all the others.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna tell you, it's not
Okay.
easy.
Probably
It's
depends
not easy.
Yeah. Watch, you know.
What you're lobbying for.
At some
tracking
state
or-
agencies, there are folks in the agency who that is their job because they're watching bills.
And the hard part is at the beginning of a session, there are thousands of bills.
Yes.
There's only gonna be 100 or so that get passed, so you don't want.
4,000. 4,000 in this
That's
last. session.
Okay, let's move on. Unless you have any other questions, do you?
Three, but I don't know if I asked this. I think I might have already asked this, but how is the Senate bill affected by the school board?
How are Senate bills?
Very little.
Very little.
It's the other way around. They affect
They
us.
affect
We don't
us, we
affect
don't
them.
affect them.
But we as members of the public can comment on what we think.
But not as a whole.
How are policies decided amongst the policy committee?
How are they divided?
No, how are they decided
Oh.
in the policy committee?
We don't actually decide on policy. What we do is review existing policy. Although if somebody wants to bring forward an idea about a policy, we can.
But we do.
But they do it collaboratively.
We do have a kind of, I wouldn't say it's a vote, but we get a consensus on what we want it to be as a committee. And that's what comes forward to this, is the consensus on that policy. And we had some interesting conversations last policy because the state changed some things about directory information, which took us by surprise. You know, you can't have grade level anymore without getting permission to do grade level, a whole bunch of things that we had to think about. And then we called back and asked Dave and the clarifying about, is that really true? We have to do that? And we got an answer back and.
Wasn't the answer we wanted.
Not the answer we want.
The answer is-
Language, it's a lot about language.
And Warren, another piece of that policy is when I provide all of the updates that OSBA has recommended, sometimes there is language we get to choose between. Often what I'll do in that case is, well, I always will send it out to our administrative team for their suggestions. They don't always have suggestions, but sometimes they have good suggestions, like a policy that might be really important in HR. Our HR director looks at that before the policy committee and often will attend the policy committee meeting to give her 2 cents on what she thinks the district's best move would be with selective language.
How often does the OSBA factor in the new laws?
How often does OSBA do what?
Factor in the new laws?
Always.
Always. It's an ongoing
They-
process.
They,
Every week they can send us new policies based on new laws that were passed, so.
they also get involved in the passing of the laws in the first place. So when you talk about hearings, OSBA or members from them are all at every one of the education committee meetings where any of the bills are coming forward. And they put their 2 cents in after they talk to us in every one of those hearings. And then when the law is passed, then they put a team together to start deciding what that means. And just to get into more in the weeds, a bill gets passed, but it's the administrative rules that enact the bill. And that's done by the State Department of Education, who take the bill and then translate it into what they think it means, making rules, which OSBA has to look at and pass policies.
Okay. How much is decided by OSBA?
How much?
Is decided by OSBA.
Nothing.
Nothing's
They're-
decided by them. They just make
advisory.
recommendations and we can follow.
They're almost like if you're referring to like Senate bills, they're almost like a lobbyist in a way where they're kind of the person that, or the agency that the schools select to represent us, and we give them our feedback, whether we like certain Senate bills or if we want a Senate bill to be axed, I guess. I don't know if they consider themselves a lobbyist, but that's the
They have
best way.
they have lobbyists.
They have
Yeah, have
lobbyists.
lobbyists, okay.
And they come back and they report on the bills, what's going up, and they'll come and talk to us. There's 2 of them. And can't remember what their names right now, but you guys are very important to us. So, good questions. I have a question for you. What are you gonna be when you grow up? All right, that's what I thought.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Do you have any more questions? Pardon me?
What's a lobbyist?
A lobbyist is a person who goes and spreads your point of view and tries and change other people's minds to the way you want them to.
And they have to register with the state, pay something for that. You can't lobby X number of hours, go into legislature on a particular issue. If you do that for more than, I think it's 3 or 4 days, then it's against the law for you to do it. You are not registered as a lobbyist with TS, with another state.
In Oregon. Good question.
Okay? Okay? Perfect, thank you. Okay, next item, board goals.
I so move that we adopt our 25-26 school year school board goals with the addition of our tentative goal number 4, which reads, the board will champion a positive district culture by supporting a robust communication framework that builds trust, fosters transparency, and consistently celebrates student and staff success.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, let's have discussion.
So did we pick one of those options?
No, this is our school board goals. We had already said the first 3 that we wanted, and we had asked David to wordsmith the 4th goal that I just read. And I felt like that was a very wonderful board goal that he
Right.
had wordsmith. This is not the ones for the superintendent goals, which will be the one we need to pick.
It's your working agreements. where
Oh,
you
the
have
working
Yes.
agreements.
That's the working agreement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
What do we get some language there?
these are the 4 goals that we came to on Saturday. It's been moved and seconded that we establish these and adopt them as our board goals for the 25-26 school year. Is there any further discussion?
I would just like to say that, and I know we haven't gotten to the superintendent goals yet, but we reviewed them and have seen them, and I don't think they've changed, but we're about to see next. They haven't changed. So I just want to encourage the board to either adopt or do a little wordsmithing for goal 4 that we marked as tentative, because I feel like the superintendent's goals are really rigorous and really courageous. And I say courageous because I think that they will be achieved through communications and relationships with people, between people, although many of them are related to various kinds of programs that the schools are using. I think that good communication with people is hard work and requires clarity, discipline, and accountability. And to me, this also requires some vulnerability, which I think takes courage, which is why I use that word, courage. And I think this is the kind of communication that requires perhaps some discomfort if it's to be done really well and honestly. And that's like at every level of our school community, faculty, families, staff. And so I'd like to see the board perhaps wordsmith that goal and then continue to work closely with Ms. Roberts on strategies for that.
So you would vote no on this?
Well, no, we're not voting, are we?
I did.
Well, yeah, you first,
We are
you,
voting.
and I second.
You made a motion.
Oh, no,
we
no,
have
no,
to
we're not
vote.
voting, right? This is still discussion, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, they do discussion.
I didn't call for a vote.
Oh, I thought you said, would you vote no on this?
She asked her.
I did. I'm asking her a question, Kim.
Oh, I guess you know what I'm asking to do in a minute? I think maybe I'm asking if I can do this to amend the motion to accept the 3 and not number 4, which has tentative written on it, to give us an opportunity to spend a little more time with it at our next board meeting.
I would second that.
Or you can take it as a friendly.
You can take it as a friendly amendment then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are we still in discussion?
yes.
Okay, I can go either way. I do think words are important.
We're in discussion of the amendment now, just so you know.
So we're not talking about the goal.
We are.
We're talking about the goal number 4.
Can I just say what I want to say and then you guys can tell me if I'm on point or not?
We don't hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, that's how you really feel.
I'm just saying, I definitely, I'm all about wordsmithing and I'm all about that. But let's remember what the actual goal is. And not that words aren't important because they very, very much are important, but I don't want to lose my train of thought here. I don't want to get hung up on it. That's it. I don't want to get hung up on specific words if it's not really lending to something that is going to make a difference.
But
Because we can
Maybe's
wordsmith-
position is that it is making a difference. The words are making a difference.
I'm not saying, I'm not
Yeah,
disagreeing with maybe. What I am saying is that we could do that 1,000 times. We could wordsmith something. If we're gonna add something, let's make sure it means something instead of just going over and over.
Arnie?
I would, I like that 1, 2, and 3, so I agree, I can agree with that. If we're gonna do wordsmithing, we don't have time on the board to do wordsmithing, so I would say that if that's what Mady wants to do, she should come back with a proposal with respect to something that's different than what we have there.
Okay.
Because somebody needs to do that. And I don't know that we have the time as a group, we have a conversation.
I agree. I also, sorry to interrupt, but I had another thing. I do want some conversation because it takes all of us.
You give you all the, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion is, has been friendly amended to accept numbers 1, 2, and 3 as our goals, the board goals for the 25-26 school year. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Okay, so further discussion? Kim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Arnie?
Aye.
Maybe?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, school board has some goals. Now we're on to the superintendent goals.
And as you take a look at those, I need to do a wordsmith on number 1. On number 1, after 9th grade on track, it says 4 and 5-year grad rate. It should say 4-year graduation rate, and 5-year completion rate. So we're going to make that adjustment, but I want that please to be noted as you're looking at the goal with number 1, 4-year graduation and 5-year completion rate.
And these were the goals that were presented on Saturday.
They were the goals that were presented on Saturday, and then I took the suggestions from our discussion, went and I would say cleaned them up, but number 1 needed further cleaning, but I went and worked on them, and now I'm back for hopeful approval.
I so move that we approve the superintendent goals for 25-26 school year with the amendment that Mr. Roberts had just said with the 4-year graduation rate and a 5-year
completion
rate.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I was sitting here waiting, what?
I'm just reading something, I'm sorry.
That's why Masons work so much better at the legislature.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I just want a point of clarification. These 5 goals, I'm only seeing 5 when I click on the link. Are all of those other goals rolled up in here?
Yeah,
The 90%, the 80%?
Yeah, the theory is if we can hit our KPIs, then these goals are we're gonna meet these
Okay,
goals.
so those are those roll up in here.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Other point of clarification, so, you know, your 2 community and student surveys, or who do you consider to be part of the community? So is that going to be your administrative team? Is that going to be your teachers? Is that going to be families of the students? And, you know, community is a very broad word. I'm wondering what you mean by that.
It's a great question. At this time, I would like to kind of investigate more on what community means in terms of what we want as a district. So I have several thoughts.
Yeah,
You know, David and I were talking about how the Student Success Committee is going to help us a bunch in terms of the student surveys and climate surveys of that nature. We also have community members involved in that organization as well as staff. So we could incorporate some of these surveys into that group helping us develop the survey, because it does have family members, community advocates, staff, and students. And so it's kind of still to be determined, but I would like to get as much feedback from as many folks as we can in terms of the climate of the school district as felt by business owners, community members, parents, staff, students, all encompassing.
I think fine to be general in this. Just encourage you to. You can't measure what you don't define, and so you're going to have to define what you mean by community to measure it well. I think as you report back on your goals, one of the things we hope, or I would hope to see, is more definition as you get into making the survey.
Great.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. The motion is on the floor that we adopt the superintendent goals as amended with the reference to completion, 4-year graduation rate and 5-year completion rate for the 25-26 school year. Diane?
We're voting now?
We're voting now.
Aye.
Maybe.
Aye.
Arnie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Garrett?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, we have superintendent goals.
Thank you.
Now we're on to the board of directors and superintendent working agreement.
I so move that we adopt our Coos Bay School District Board of Directors and Superintendent Working Agreements with option B, superintendent oversight. The board holds the sole authority for all personnel management processes concerning the superintendent, including hiring and performance evaluation. The superintendent serves as the primary administrative leader and advisor, working in a collaborative team with the board.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
She'd be. Which,
She said B.
option B, superintendent, including, so one thing that I noticed it left up on that, and not take personal on it, but it says concerning the superintendent, including hiring / firing and performance evaluation, because that's really part of the job.
Yeah, true.
Not to me like,
Well, I would consider that part of the performance evaluation. I mean, we could, we could divvy it out into salary and whatnot. The other ones, evaluate, provide personnel oversight for the superintendent. I mean, that all goes into personnel. It's not only firing, but it's disciplinary actions.
It could be putting them on
Leave.
leave or something, so you don't want to just make it hiring and firing.
Yeah, you can't just say, there's two things in that.
So it's a process.
How else could we?
I was just thinking adding that word and leaving the whole paragraph as it is. Just that word with another comma.
But the thing is that those aren't the only two things, including hiring and firing, if there's also.
And performance evaluation.
No, it's the personnel management processes, right? That's the whole, that encompasses the whole portion of that. It's evaluation. It's.
So we could even take out
raises.
include hiring, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
we could take out including hiring and performance evaluation because technically management processes concerned, personnel management processes encompasses that. Are you asking that we do that?
Since the next cycle would be.
It has moved to second review, I was discussing, so if somebody. helps-
Well, you can make an amendment.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Wait, we're doing, so we're looking at option B.
Option B.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you recommending a change?
I mean, I'm not gonna be a lone writer on this, but yes, I'll do a friendly motion to add that word with a comma.
I mean, it's firing the, okay.
There's only a couple rules we really have, I mean, and we're fluffing it up by not adding the one.
Well, I think there's a lot of processes in personnel management.
Yeah.
Probably quite a few. And
But isn't this saying that the board, our sole authority is in the personal management processes for Gary?
Yes.
That's right,
Period.
and hiring him.
We hire, fire, and performance evaluate Gary.
Mhm.
And that's it. We don't do other
That's the only.
evaluations.
He's just asking the word firing be put in there.
Oh, I see.
well, do we hold the sole authority if he needs to go to HR because of
Yes.
something
Yeah, if he does something,
private?
we could put him on the leave, but pay for a period of time.
There's
We could do a whole
tons
bunch
of
of things besides hiring and firing.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't
All
want to
those
limit it to
processes.
just those things, but I'd be willing to take out hiring.
Do we have sole authority when he asks for a day off? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, to me, just personnel management processes is a long list.
It encompasses. all-
HR.
Those-
Yeah, we are the sole, we
We
can
are.
say, no, you can't take a vacation.
Yes,
We can do
these
that.
are one employee,
We wouldn't,
but I'm not gonna list.
as he's over there
I
with
would
these
not.
eyes like, don't ever do that.
Addie had already asked if somebody would vote no.
Yeah.
I will vote no.
Okay,
No, I wouldn't want to list
If
them
what?
all.
If
To
there's-
me, the including are merely two examples of things that we do.
So you did not, you don't have to vote, no, you just don't accept it as a
and-
friendly amendment.
which means we're handling
Why
that
didn't
as an
you-
amendment, a separate
hear-
amendment.
What did I
What
hear?
is another word for firing or the whole process of that? Like, is there, if,
I'd like to ask David.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Could
Like,
say employment, but yeah. Just.
instead of having
We're not the only district that has
termination.
board
Yeah.
and superintendent working agreements.
Thank you.
No, although I will be honest, I haven't thoroughly reviewed other districts'
maybe that's-
working agreements. But what I would say on this is I think that this is all covered in that first sentence. The board holds the sole authority for all personnel management processes concerning the superintendent. And it adds those so that you know the type of, if you don't know what personnel process, you can get an idea from those two examples. I think
How
it
about if we
provides
say
clarity.
including but not limited to,
Hiring and firing.
well, hiring and personal and but.
Firing and termination.
Termination's a better word for me.
And
I don't know, maybe
termination's a
that's what
much better
I'm
word.
hung up on, but.
But you started.
Is there?
Is there a second to the amendment? We haven't even gone there. Was there a second to the amendment?
I didn't hear the amendment. I'm sorry.
He just wanted to put firing in. That was the
Wants to
amendment.
add the word hiring and firing and personnel and, personnel performance evaluation.
There was not a second.
There's no second?
I'll second it.
No,
You
you
can't second
made
it.
You asked again.
Okay,
I'll
so we're,
I'll second it.
okay. So the amendment on the floor right now is that option B be amended to read, the board holds the sole authority for all personnel management processes concerning the superintendent including hiring, comma, firing, comma, and performance evaluation. The superintendent serves as the primary administrator leader,
So-
etc.
It was not second. So I don't
Yeah,
see
no,
how-
Derek.
I did.
Oh, Derek did.
seconded.
I did.
Derek,
Thank you,
yes.
Derek. I didn't hear Derek.
My board is getting testy. It's not even that late. Okay, so, is there any further discussion on the amendment, adding the word firing?
Are we hung up on firing? Can we use like the word termination? I don't know why it makes a difference to me, but it just seems. I would be surprised to see that in any kind of
I-
policy or handbook anywhere that.
No, we can have two amendments, right? Everything this right?
There's an amendment on the floor right now. Is there any further discussion of the amendment?
But you can go up to two amendments is what you can make another.
I can amend.
Yes, you can make a friendly amendment that the word hiring be
Can it-
changed for information.
Or you just vote.
You can at the board chair's discretion, and the board
At
chair
this
will not
point,
accept
It's
another
not going
amendment
to make
on
a
an amendment at this
significant
point.
impact on how.
Come
we
on, guys,
conduct-
let's go. This is silly.
Just have to
We're
vote.
having too long a discussion over one
I
word.
am not going to, it's not going to have a significant impact. I'd like to finish my sentence. And so I do not need to make the amendment. And I will be okay with voting on this.
Okay, so we're voting on the amendment, which includes the words firing. Diane,
Aye.
Maybe, Kevin,
Aye.
Derek,
Aye.
Kim,
Next.
I'll say I too.
you'll say. God,
I
you're
thought you-
just tucked
I
back
thought you
in
did
the
auctioneer
corner.
thing. I caught the nod.
The chair votes nay. So it is 4-2, the motion passes. So we're now on to the full adoption of the working agreement unless there are any other amendments.
Oh. We have to go back to the original motion.
We are,
Oh, no, we don't. The amendment.
No.
Was that an
amendment passed.
Wasn't that an amendment to per bit for original? Don't we have to vote on the original,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about
Okay.
now. We're
not on the
discussing.
whole thing? I'm just saying on accepting B,
Oh,
Oh,
because all we did right now is accept the amendment to her initial.
okay. So is there any further discussion on option B, the wording of option B? Hearing none. Diane?
Aye.
Maybe.
aye.
Arnie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Derek? Kim? And the chair votes nay. Okay, so the motion passes and we are then using option B as amended. So we're back at the original motion, which was to accept the Board of Directors and Superintendent Working Agreement. Is there any further discussion on that item? Hearing none. Diane,
Wait, what are we voting
we're voting
The whole thing.
on the,
on? I thought we
to accept the Coos Bay School District Board of Directors and Superintendent Working Agreement for the 25-26
What did we
school
just
year.
vote on before that?
Just
To go with option
To go with
the
option B, you
wording
said
of option B.
Oh, I thought that we did that the first time.
the first one was to have firing, the second one was to choose option B with the word fire, and now the third time is around is we get to do the document itself.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I have one more question, but
Okay, what was your question? This is your time.
this is my one chance. If we added personal conduct that we have for the board to the superintendents, it would give like a 7-7 on our requirements. They just change it. See,
What do you mean?
So right here where it says personal conduct,
Yeah,
abide by the board rule, the policies and code of environmental integrity. Add that to the supers also. So that he would have seven items to kind of look at, would have 7 items.
But that's on the superintendent's thing and we passed that. We're past that.
I'll table it.
We're on to the working.
All right,
You're back at the superintendent goals.
table then, okay, yeah. That table down there.
Okay, is there any other discussion on the working agreement? We're all getting now. Diane, we're voting on the working agreement.
I would like to very much so put this working agreement into play. So
Maybe.
Aye.
Artie,
Hi.
Kevin,
Aye.
Derek,
Aye.
Kim. Oh, chair votes aye. And Kim will register as an abstention. Okay, and the motion passes. Okay, and
I know it's a lot of.
I know, a lot of, it keeps going back to the beginning. Okay, we are on to board member highlights. This is an opportunity for us to just go around and tell about anything we've done with the school district, our schools, the district as a whole. Diane, do you have anything this month?
I don't have anything.
Maybe?
Not today, thank you.
Arnie?
Just to reiterate what was said earlier when they had, it was a great, the South Stands recognition for the people at the football game, I thought was nicely done. And I appreciate all the work that the community and others put into getting it to the point where it is now. Thank you. Enjoy going to the game.
Yeah, same here. I love going to the games and give a shout out to Loma and the guys over at facilities for getting all the stuff done that did not require extra funding. We had it, made it happen, and it's looking good, and I'm impressed with it. Yeah.
Derek?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out the Marshfield Junior High cross country team. They had their first meet on Friday down at the Cranberry Bog in Bandon. The girls race, Isabel Smith won the 3,000 in a time of 11:45. So you think about just how fast that is.
That's pretty good.
It's like 2 mile, it's 2 miles-ish really, really quickly. For somebody who's in junior high. And then I just wanted to shout out, Kendall Coleman actually tripped and fell at the beginning of the race, got up and got a personal best. So that's a lot of guts.
Yeah, that's good.
And then in the boys race, Maddox Farrell was second overall. I just thought it was a really great outing for our junior high cross country team. Good job, guys.
Kim?
Let's see, I attended our facilities meeting, and then we had an ESD board training with OSBA. I happen to be the only board member there. I'm on a board, and that was a good training for, I think, especially reminders, and then a lot of good stuff for going back to the basics.
Yeah.
And then attended the new staff barbecue, and yep, so we got to hang with and eat some really great food and talk to some new staff. And then I have a meeting with Mr. Roberts. And then got to spend the Saturday with all the people at the board work session. Happy new school year.
Yeah. And I spent the summer with Arnie negotiating a contract. It needs to move a little faster. We'll put some new rules into play. And then I made some comments at the opening assembly for the teachers. Very brief comments. I think they were well received because they were brief. I had someone come up to me and go, "That was perfect. It lasted maybe 2 minutes." Okay. Just a reminder that OSBA annual convention of November 6th and 7th or something like that.
7th and 8th.
7th and 8th is coming up. If you're interested, please let David know now so that he can make reservations. the sooner we get them, the higher possibility that we'll be at the hotel where the convention is being held, so.
I will not be able to attend.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
Also, if you're not interested, whichever you decide, please just fill out the form so I have a list all in one place. So that I know who's attending, what they need, those kinds of things. It really helps me out.
Is that in our email recently?
Yes, I sent it today.
Yesterday. Okay, we have our upcoming meetings. Policy committee will meet on the 18th from 4 to 6. I don't believe we have a special board meeting this month.
No, we have a tentative one, but the date is wrong.
Yeah,
The tentative board meeting is not that.
okay.
It's the 22nd is the tentative meeting, but so far we haven't had any.
Okay. And
They were-
then October 13th is our next regular school board meeting, and then the 27th will be our data meeting. Okay? I don't think we need a motion to adjourn, right? Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
We don't need a word to say.
Oh, Lord. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh.